Hello! Have you ever thought about getting an education in writing? I've mentioned before that I have a master's degree in creative writing. If that's something that you've never heard of or that you are interested in possibly pursuing in the future, then today's video is for you. Let's start with some definitions. The degree that I have is called an MFA, or a Master in Fine Arts. This is a studio degree, meaning that people who have this degree have worked on the art that they've studied, rather than just studying the art other people have made. So who would want this kind of degree? Anyone who is interested in pursuing the fine arts. Dancers, filmmakers, photographers, visual artists, and of course, writers. The MFA is considered a terminal degree, which means it is the highest degree available in that field of study. For example, if you were an English professor, you could get a master's degree in English and then go on to get your doctorate in English. While many people who hold an MFA do go on to get a doctorate, the doctorate and the MFA are not in the same field. Since I have an MFA in creative writing, I could apply to pursue a doctorate in English or literature or another related field, but my doctorate and my MFA would be in different fields. So what is involved in pursuing a Master of Fine Arts in creative writing? Well, most writers tend to focus on one or two specific types of writing. The primary genres are creative nonfiction, fiction, screenwriting, which can be for film or stage, poetry, and writing for children and young adults. Writers who are interested in all or many of these usually choose which one to focus on based on which one they want to learn more about. For instance, someone who is a published novelist but has recently become interested in poetry might choose to pursue an MFA in poetry so they can learn more about the genre. Some programs will let you dabble in multiple genres throughout the course of your degree, but almost all of them will have you choose a concentration. For example, in the program that I went through, there were 5 brief residencies and 4 long semesters. My concentration was writing for children and young adults, so 3 of my 4 long semesters were focused on writing for children and young adults. The 4th semester, I could choose another genre to work in, and I chose creative nonfiction. The 5 brief residencies rotated through the 5 genres that were offered by the program, so even though I did not have a full semester in fiction, screenwriting, or poetry, I was able to dabble in them a little bit during the brief residencies. You might be wondering what these programs are like. Maybe you've heard the phrase that great writers are born, not taught, in which case the cost of higher education in writing might not be worth it if you lack the natural born talent. Or you might wonder what makes an MFA program different from other degrees. Well, as I mentioned before, the MFA is a program where you not only study the art, you also make it. Every program will be different, but in the one I attended, we spent our long semesters producing 25 to 50 pages of writing every 3 weeks. We sent this off to our faculty mentors who returned it with comments. In the subsequent weeks, we would send additional new writing as well as versions of the old writing that were revised in light of the mentor's comments. It is a lot of writing. During our brief residencies, we would send in 15 to 20 pages of writing for workshop, and we would receive a booklet of pages like this from several other students. We read and commented on them and met together daily to discuss one another's work. This was a really great way to see what many people thought about a work in progress instead of just the mentor. Often members in the workshop would disagree with one another, and as the writer you could see where your work might be misinterpreted or misread, so you could go back in revision and try to solve that problem. Is getting a degree like this worth it? I think that's completely up to the individual writer. I found the experience invaluable. I had the chance to work with some amazing mentors, and I made writer friends all over the country who I still go to for all sorts of writing-related problems. The primary reason I chose to get this degree was because while I had composed many first drafts of manuscripts over the years, I had no idea how to revise them and make them publishable. And that's definitely something that I learned a ton about over the 2 years of the program. One thing I'd like to warn you about if you're considering an MFA program is the attitude and culture of the program that you pick. Some schools have a reputation for cutthroat workshops that often end in tears and distant mentors that are so consumed with their own work that they don't have very much time for your own. I chose the program that I did specifically because our program director had the motto that our competition was in the library, not in the classroom with us. We were instructed to give both constructive criticism and specific encouragement to each of the other writers. This is an attitude I try to maintain to this day whenever another writer entrusts me with their work. I hope this video helps to make the idea of an MFA program a bit less mystifying. If you're curious about the program I attended, I've put a link in the description below. Leave me a comment to let me know if you're considering an MFA, or if you already have one, what you found to be the most valuable part of the experience. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for new videos every Wednesday. Happy writing!